Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming at y'all today on Thursday, January 15th. So happy to have y'all today. I hope everybody's doing absolutely phenomenal. I want to apologize right off rip. I do have a bit of a migraine this morning, so I am going to try to give y'all the energy that y'all so love and desire. Just bear with me. All right. I did prepare a very fun episode today, and I think most of y'all will enjoy this one. We're going to be doing a new segment at the end of this podcast. I don't want to spoil it, but we will be doing a new segment. You guys know we like mixing up the segments at the end of the show. I like keeping all of these shows fresh, so I do appreciate everybody who tunes in daily, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. We do these live, y'all. We do these live. So podcast listeners, if you guys do enjoy these, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. Y'all have no idea what it means to me, what it does for me. It helps tremendously. And of course, if you guys do want to check out these episodes live where mistakes happen, where all of this stuff happens, where my community talks with me while we're doing these podcasts, be sure to swing on into the Twitch Jay-Z Uncut. The link will be down below. I appreciate everybody tuning in. TikTok, be sure to keep double tapping that screen. YouTube, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. And Twitch, all y'all got to do is sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started with the show talking about the New York Knicks from last night. Now, y'all, you guys know me. I'm not one to exaggerate. I'm not one to over dramatize something. That is not what I do. Okay. So today, I feel like I have to over exaggerate with my fellow Knicks fans. I'm not a Knicks fan, but in case you guys don't know this, I am on Knicks Twitter now. Obviously, I'm mainly on Pistons Twitter, but my Pistons haven't played for 5 days. So I'm on Knicks Twitter. That's just the honest truth. And something that was happening last night and this morning, something I woke up to, was Knicks Twitter. I only went through and liked a couple messages on Twitter just to show you examples. Because unfortunately, when I woke up this morning and I was scrolling Twitter, my initial For You page, I didn't think of doing this idea at first. So my apologies. But I will say I was scrolling for 30 minutes. And it was 30 full minutes of scrolling on Twitter and just seeing the most heinous comments made about their players. So I saved a couple for y'all. Get Karl Anthony Towns the fuck off my team. I don't give a F. It's for a free bag of chips. Get him out now. Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, you ruined my effing life. Karl Anthony Towns needs to go. He is a soft loser. This team pays him $50 million a year, and he's a soft giant sack of shit. With or without Brunson, the Knicks should be struggling like this. Sorry. This is like this to a sorry Kings team. My apologies. I struggle at reading. Karl Anthony Towns is the first NBA player I would not care if he was never seen again. Did I really just see Karl Anthony Towns fall down untouched, sit on New York's end of the court for an entire Kings possession, stay down as his teammates got on a 4-on-5 stop, and then remain on the ground as a miss was tipped up the court in his direction? No way I saw that, right? Oh, I'll show you the clip. Don't worry. I can't defend Cat no more. Y'all got it. We should have kept Precious Achiuwa instead of signing Yabusele. The trade for Karl Anthony Towns is one of the worst moves in Knicks franchise history. Maybe the Knicks just suck. The fate of the season rests in your hands. Make the call, Leon. Knicks getting out-hustled and out-muscled by Precious Achiuwa. I'm going to talk about this tweet in particular. I want this MF off this team right now. Leon, make the call. The Kings go on. Russell Westbrook misses the 3. Josh Hart tips it out. And I'm wondering, where's Karl Anthony Towns? Oh, he's just right here. He's just right there. I watched this live. I fell asleep at halftime. He's just right there. So he doesn't care to get involved into the offense. He's just hanging out at the other side of the court and watches Westbrook hit a 3. And I mean, you can just watch Karl Anthony Towns all game. And it's plays like this that lose the Knicks these games. And then the final tweet that I want to show y'all this morning is "Come save us, big bro." And it's Giannis photoshopped into a Knicks jersey. So this is the Knicks fan base right now. And I don't relish in seeing all of these tweets. In fact, I wish I saved all of them. Most of them, I wouldn't even be able to read them in front of you guys because of how heinous most of the threats about Karl-Anthony Towns were. Okay? So let's just get into this game in particular. I'm going to start off with the Sacramento Kings. DeMar DeRozan, 27 points. Precious Achiuwa, 20 points, 14 rebounds. Maxime Reynaud, 10 points. Zach LaVine, 25. Russell Westbrook, 19. Off the bench, they had 11 points off the bench. It's not like the Kings had a good game. If the Knicks were versing a good basketball team, with all due respect to the Kings, they would have lost by 30. They would have lost by 30 if they were up against a good basketball team. They had 11 points off their bench. But they were against the Sacramento Kings. Now, let's look at the Knicks side, okay? In case you guys don't know, Jalen Brunson did exit this game. He tweaked his ankle in the first 5 minutes of the game. But 5 minutes into the game, I do want to reiterate this. My Knicks fans, you guys can attest to this. I was watching this game. Even with Brunson, this was a loss. This was a loss even with Brunson. The first 5 minutes of this game is what set the tone for the entire night. Nobody cared. Nobody wanted to play basketball. Nobody wanted to outwork them. Nobody, especially the guy that is being paid $55 million. He did not want to play this basketball game. When you are getting outworked by a guy who got picked up a week into the season in Precious Achiuwa, 20 points, 14 rebounds. When you get outworked by a guy like that, that speaks volumes. Because when you think about this real quick, if you're getting outworked by a Precious Achiuwa, what's going to happen in the playoffs when you're up against guys who literally play for the playoffs? Paolo Banchero, Isaiah Stewart now. The East has a lot of doggy dogs. They have a lot of dogs. And what you're telling me is Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be your key guy to go up against all of these dogs? I don't see that happening. If you are getting cooked by Precious Achiuwa, I don't think it's going to go well for you in the playoffs. Karl-Anthony Towns, as a 7-footer, had 4 rebounds last night. 4 rebounds. And I understand that Knicks fans may disagree with me about the Knicks still losing this game if Brunson were here. I think they still lose it because this was arguably their worst game of the year. And they had Brunson against the Pistons and they still managed to get smacked by 31. So my issue with the New York Knicks is lack of effort. The only guy I saw with any ounce of effort on this team was Mitchell Robinson last night. He had 11 rebounds. Seven of them were offensive. So when I tell you, if one player is giving you that sort of effort, what about the rest of the team? Does nobody else want to work? Does nobody else want to win? This is not what people thought about the New York Knicks. And I promise you, I am not exaggerating when I say this. They do not look like the team of last year. And you know what? I might be on the same boat now of saying maybe firing Tibbs was a bad idea. Because right now, Mike Brown is not working. From the rotations, from the lineups, from the lack of effort. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm seeing the New York Knicks do on the court, it looks pathetic. I haven't seen this team try since the NBA Cup. Karl-Anthony Towns is soft. He is so soft. And I thought Tibbs was the main issue. I thought firing Tibbs and bringing in a good ball movement coach like Mike Brown would sort of solve this team's issue instead of just Brunson hero ball at the end of every game. I want to remind you guys what I said at the beginning of this season. And for those of you who were here, which is very few of you that were here, I said this at the beginning of the season, and I'll say it again. The New York Knicks will never win a championship when Karl Anthony Towns is on your roster. Never. Never. This isn't a Mike Brown thing. This isn't a Tom Thibodeau thing. This is a identity thing. This team has no identity. Josh Hart was supposed to be the heart and soul of this team, no pun intended. And he may still be that. But he's not going to, he can win you a playoff game. He can win you a couple playoff games in a series, but he's not going to win you a championship. Karl Anthony Towns is not a center for a championship team. To be honest, as a Pistons fan, I don't see Karl Anthony Towns competing with the new Jalen Duren, competing with Isaiah Stewart. We all know he doesn't compete against Isaiah Stewart. Josh asked me this question in the Twitch chat. Do you think they do if they got Giannis instead of Cat? No. Because the trade package that the Milwaukee Bucks would demand for Giannis, no. No, they won't. No. The issue is you're not getting Giannis by the deadline. Giannis is not going anywhere. He is not going anywhere this season. He will go somewhere in the regular season, in the offseason. He's not going anywhere in the middle of this season because what they're going to demand is going to be an OG. They don't have any picks to trade. It's going to be OG. It's going to be Tyler Kolek. It's going to be Cat. Just adding Giannis into a mix of Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, that's not going to get it done. That's not going to get it done at all. And I see fans of the New York Knicks saying that Mitchell Robinson should be the starter. I don't know about you guys. I've seen Mitchell Robinson be a starter in this NBA. It's not a beautiful thing. In fact, it's an ugly thing. And people tell me, let's start Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns. That doesn't work. Mitchell Robinson is a bench spark plug. He cannot play more than 20 minutes a game. He can't. He's supposed to come in off the bench and wreak havoc. Mitchell Robinson does not have the stamina. He does not have the durability. In fact, I guarantee you, if he starts averaging 25 minutes a game, he's going to be out real soon due to an injury. And I don't like manifesting injuries on players, but knowing players, knowing their lack of conditioning, I can tell you right now, Mitchell Robinson will not be good as a starter because he won't be able to play much. Now, I can go up and down this list, of course. Deuce McBride had a bad game. He had a bad game. 4 for 14. Jordan Clarkson, 5 for 11. Tyler Kolek was 3 for 9. Mitchell Robinson was 3 for 3, 8 points, 11 rebounds, 7 of them offensive. Now, I just got to regurgitate this. I got to reiterate it. I promise, no matter how many times I say this, I still feel like I can't get the point across. Knicks fans, as long as you have Karl Anthony Towns on your roster, I'm not saying anything that you guys don't already know, you will not win the Larry O'Brien trophy. He is not your star big man. So, New York, I got to tell y'all, it ain't too late to hang that cup banner. It ain't too late. It is not too late. You can still do it. A lot of us will make fun of you, but I promise you may as well do that than not hang a championship banner at all. So now I ask you guys, if somehow the New York Knicks, Leon Rose, does what all Knicks fans want right now and trading Karl Anthony Towns, can I ask you what that trade would look like? Do you think you're getting a positive trade out of Karl Anthony Towns? $55 million, and has proven that he can't be a number 2 on a team. Not consistently. But he has had how many years? How many years have we said Karl Anthony Towns? How many times have we seen Cat be a number 2? One trip to the conference finals with the Timberwolves. The years before that, last year, and now this year. In my honest opinion, you're not getting more. You're not getting a draft pick for Cat. Nobody is trading a draft pick for Cat. I don't think anybody is. And quite frankly, People are also talking about trading Mikal Bridges. Listen, I got to be honest when I talk about Mikal Bridges. This guy, there's a reason he plays every game in the NBA. And every time you watch NBC, Peacock, Prime, when you hear the commentators say, talk about an Iron Man, he plays every single game. He hasn't missed a game since high school. Sit back and wonder why. Sit back and wonder why he hasn't missed a game. He avoids contact. Thank you. Every single one of this guy's shots, it's him fading away from contact. Every single one. Last night, guess what? He was on a fast break and he went for a layup. And Precious said no and tackled him to the ground. He got contact, and that'll be the only contact he gets for the next month. I genuinely don't see a world where you can trade Mikal Bridges and win on that trade. Cat, you can convince me that somebody might give you a second rounder, but is that a win? Is that a win? I'm watching a player in Mikal Bridges take fadeaways from 3 feet out. Fadeaways from 3 feet out. So when I say this, please do not take it lightly. Knicks fans, please don't get offended when I say this, because I'm on your guys' side. I don't think trading Mikal Bridges is a smart move. You're not going to get anything for him. You traded your entire future for him. Your entire future for him. Okay? You traded 5 picks for Mikal Bridges. And then you traded Julius Randle, who is also having a career year right now in Minnesota, for a guy that does not, he's incapable of being a number 2. Now, I have somebody in the TikTok named Wa10, and he came in and said, bro is talking about regular season. Who cares? These guys show up in the playoffs. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, what Wa10 is trying to tell you is you are not allowed to talk about the NBA until the playoffs. Never. You're not allowed to talk about it. Well, fortunately for me, this is my job. So I have to talk about these games, and I'm doing it without exaggerating whatsoever. And can we talk real quick about Cat being in the playoffs? Cat being in the playoffs. Karl-Anthony Towns in the playoffs. Karl-Anthony Towns playoff stats. Let's look at Karl-Anthony Towns playoff stats. Last year, I guess you can see it all here. It shows you each season. So last year, he averaged 21 points in the playoffs. He shot 48% from the field and 35% from 3. Now, when you look at that, that's all fine and dandy. But the difference is how many minutes he's going to be playing last playoffs versus this playoffs. I genuinely don't see a world where Mike Brown is playing Karl-Anthony Towns 40 minutes in a game, even in the playoffs. Mind you, this year, Cat has looked entirely different. Have you guys looked at Karl-Anthony Towns' shot diet? It has completely switched up. It has completely changed. Completely. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. Last year, Karl-Anthony Towns would attempt 25% of his shots from 3. 25%. Do I have any guesses of what his shot diet is this year as far as how many threes he takes percentage-wise out of all of his overall shots? And now I also want to mention the 2s that he takes are over 3 defenders. Every time I see Karl-Anthony Towns shoot something that isn't a 3, he's taking it on 3 defenders. That is not a high volume shot. That is not a high percentage shot. This season, Karl-Anthony Towns, especially in the last 10 games, is averaging 49% of his shots are from 3-point land. That's not a joke. That is not an understatement. And that is not something that you can tell me wait until the playoffs. That's not it. So if you talk about, if you talk strictly about Karl-Anthony Towns' game, what he does when he has the ball in his hands, it's completely different from last year versus this year. When your 7-footer is grabbing you 4 rebounds, that's not working. When your 7-footer, and when he averages 11.5, that's not working. That's not working. Now, we have a Kings fan coming in saying 916 stand up, baby. The play-in run has begun. Talking about the Sacramento Kings, who are 10-30, and they are how many games outside the play-in? Hold on, is that a joke? The Sacramento Kings are 7 games out of the play-in. Light the beam, my boy. Go ahead and light that beam. I hope Kings fans also understand what's going on here as well. Everyone's building their trade value out. I think Sabonis is probably going to go to one of 3 teams. Sabonis is going to be traded to the Toronto Raptors, the Chicago Bulls, or the Atlanta Hawks. Malik Monk has a lot of options as well. And yeah, I think DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine should also get traded too. Yeah, I think Vivek is the most disgusting owner in the NBA, and that is, oh no, honestly, I wouldn't even have deleted that comment. Vivek is quite literally the new Gen Hitler as far as sports goes. He is absolutely horrible. Somebody commented in the TikTok saying, why would Sabonis go to the Bulls? Because it's the Chicago Bulls. Because it's the Chicago Bulls. That's why he would go to the Bulls. When in doubt, Bulls it out. If you're thinking about a player, about what team would want them, don't you worry, because the Sacramento Kings want them and the Chicago Bulls want them. There's 2 teams in the NBA that, when in doubt, just rely on them to go out and do something. So I genuinely believe that Sabonis is going to end up on Toronto, or he's going to end up in Chicago or Atlanta, one or the other. Mind you, he doesn't play any defense or anything. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to give a special shout out to Lake Show Jerry for swinging on into the Twitch stream. Shout out to all the legends who are getting out of the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream, the better stream. TikTok, if you guys want to talk with me, if you guys want to get involved in the real basketball knowers conversations, make sure you come through to the Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. I use the Sony ZV-1 for my camera. Okay, so I feel like I've shit on the Knicks enough. Listen, Knicks fans, I'm stressed out with you guys. I am stressed out with you guys. And don't worry, Knicks, we're going to come back to you guys later on in today's show. Okay, so be sure to stick around. We are coming back to you guys. All right? Now, TikTok, YouTube, if you guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to swing right on into the Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. Do exactly what the homie Lake Show Jerry did and can't come through to the Twitch, join the Discord, get involved in the conversation, y'all. It's way more fun over here. Do you want to make friends? Do you want to make friends that you can talk basketball with? Go to the Twitch stream. Again, that's JZ Uncut on Twitch. If you don't know how to spell it, click the profile picture, click the link in my bio, and come through to the Twitch. We would love to have y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, today's a holiday. Who else is celebrating Kuminga Day? Anybody else? Merry Kuminga Day, everybody. Today is the day, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the day. Welcome to the official trade season of the 2025-2026 NBA trade season. Welcome, everybody. Today is the Kuminga Day. Now, if you guys are unsure what the Kuminga Day is, basically, the trade season has started. Today's the day. In case you don't know, January 15th is when you can trade contracts that were signed last summer. Let's look together at the players who are available to be traded now. Starting up top with the Giddler, Josh Giddey of the Chicago Bulls is available to be traded today. Naz Reid of the Minnesota Timberwolves is available to get traded today. Santi Aldama of the Memphis Grizzlies is available to get traded today. Davion Mitchell of the Miami Heat is available to get traded today. Quentin Grimes for the Philadelphia 76ers. Sam Merrill for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Trey Mann for the Charlotte Hornets. Isaiah Jackson for the Indiana Pacers. B-Ball Paul Reed from the Detroit Pistons. Ryan Rollins for the Phoenix Suns, for the Milwaukee Bucks. What the hell is... Yo, this is why you guys shouldn't listen to AI. Gemini says Ryan Rollins is on the Phoenix Suns. And last but not least, the cum bucket himself, Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga, ladies and gentlemen, he is available to get traded, which means another player is probably going to get traded in Michael Porter Jr. I saw a tweet last night saying Michael Porter Jr. might have just played his last game. as a Brooklyn Net. And people are saying that because they're all anticipating for the Golden State Warriors to go ahead and get him. Now, I want to talk about that very briefly, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk about the Golden State Warriors because we haven't talked about them often. Now, for anybody that's thinking that, oh, just more boring trade talk. No, I want to talk about this with y'all. All right? Listen up. Do you guys know how long Steph Curry's contract is? Does anybody know? I'll give you like 7 seconds to answer that question. When does Curry's contract end? Precisely. He has a year and a half left on his contract. Nobody got it. He has a year and a half left on his contract. Yes, Stephen Curry's contract ends at the end of next season. So a year and 5 months from now, Stephen Curry, his contract is up. Do you know when Jimmy Butler's contract is up? I'll give you 7 seconds. Same with Curry. Thank you. Same with Curry. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know where Draymond Green's contract? Okay, we're not doing this again. Yes, next summer as well. Now, do you guys know who else's contract ends next summer? Think about players who are in trade talks right now. What player's contract ends next summer as well? Yes, YKB Butler with MPJ, correct. Michael Porter Jr.'s contract ends 2027. So, Michael Porter Jr.'s contract ends the same time as Steph Curry, same time as Jimmy Butler, same time as Draymond Green. Do y'all understand what that means? Do you guys also know when Jonathan Kuminga's contract ends? As you guys know, he got extended, but not a really good extension. Do you guys know when his ends? He's got a team option. Do you know when his team option ends? Any guesses when Kuminga's team option ends? It's a pretty easy answer considering what we've been doing. His team option ends next summer as well. So in case you guys don't understand what the Golden State Warriors owners have been doing, is they have been workshopping their entire roster to just flat out die next summer. Next summer, you guys may as well try out for the Golden State Warriors because nobody's on fucking contract beyond 2027. Nobody. They have built their entire roster around Stephen Curry. They do not want to be invested beyond Stephen Curry. Right now, they're actually hoping and praying that Steph Curry retires next summer because that is how they've been building everything around them. So, if they truly want to give Steph Curry one final run, you go out and you go get him an actual champion in Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. this year is averaging 26 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1 steal, 49% from the field, and 40% from 3. TikTok, if you guys are not in the Twitch stream right now, what the hell are you doing? You guys are missing out on real basketball conversations. If you guys want to talk to me, if you guys want to get your comments read, if you guys want to join a community of basketball knowers and enjoyers, not the toxicity on TikTok or Twitter, come through to the Twitch stream, Jay-Z Uncut. The Twitch link is in my bio. Click the profile picture, click the link in my bio, and come through. Ladies and gentlemen, the writing is on the wall right now. Michael Porter Jr.'s roster fits exactly what the Golden State Warriors have been planning for the last 2 years. So for anybody that is telling me it's not working out in Golden State, do we want Curry's end to be just like Dirk's, to be just like Kobe's? It's looking like it's going to be just like that. It's looking like it. Unless you add a proven champion. And for anybody that tells me his stats are going to be skewed because he's on a bad team, no, I proved this wrong yesterday. He is shooting. The only thing that's changed about Michael Porter Jr. is his volume. He is shooting way more than he did last year. And somehow, being the only offensive threat on the Brooklyn Nets, somehow his percentages increased with his additional volume. So, for anybody that tells me they're empty calories, they're not. They are not. Because his percentage has not only increased, but his volume has increased. Meaning Michael Porter Jr. right now, if he's doing what he's doing with less volume, guess what, everybody? He's doing exactly what you want out of a number 3 option on a championship team. This man, as much as I want him in Detroit, will give Golden State everything they need. Scoring, rebounds, assists, threat from deep. The only thing I see people insult Michael Porter Jr. on is defense. And I don't quite buy that entirely. Being on the Brooklyn Nets, sure, you can clown his defense. Nobody's playing defense. It's the Brooklyn Nets. But him on the Denver Nuggets, he was a serviceable wing defender. And I will not be told otherwise. Who was locking up Jimmy Butler for most of that series in the finals? Michael Porter Jr. I will not take the Michael Porter Jr. disrespect because he is being arguably one of the best 3-man in the NBA right now. Genuinely. I mean that. You put this guy on the Warriors are climbing up. The Warriors are climbing up out of the West. I guarantee that. Think about Steph Curry, roaming as he does, Jimmy Butler bullying everybody, and then Draymond Green setting up everybody with his illegal screens. I think that would be a lot of fun, man. People said he doesn't pass. He's averaging 3.5 assists this season. So Golden State, I fear that you might be doing exactly what you did last year. Do you guys remember last year? Lauri Markkanen was in the trade talks, and it was basically like Golden State's going to get Lauri. 1 week passes. Golden State's going to get Lauri. 2 weeks passes. Golden State's going to get Lauri. 3 months pass. Hey, when is Golden State going to get Lauri? The trade deadline's next week. Trade deadline passes. Golden State did not get Lauri. I fear that's what's going to happen with this. But my whole thing is like, I don't think Golden State wants to risk any part of their future. They think Pods is a good basketball player. They think Guy Santos is going to be a part of a championship level team. I'm sorry. Guy Santos, you're a good guy, I'm sure. Pods, I'm sure you're a nice guy, right? Come bucket. They are sitting you on the bench and you are doing nothing. He's not even playing. So my answer to the question of why won't the Warriors go give up Cap for Michael Porter Jr. is quite simple. He's off the books when Curry's off the books. It's truly not a risk, y'all. It is not a risk at all. He's off the books when Curry is off the books. Golden State, if you don't make this move, you guys just give it up. Curry is just going to fizzle out in the NBA, just like Kobe did, just like Dirk did. It's going to happen. If they don't make this move, there's no other move that works out. Who are they going to go get? Anthony Davis? Anthony Davis. AD. It makes no sense for the Warriors not to make this move. Thank you, Mark. A Magic fan is in agreement with me. This is an obvious no-brainer, Warriors. His contract is up. When Curry's is up, when Butler's is up, when Draymond's is up, just do it. You got nothing to lose. You have literally nothing to lose. Okay, ladies and gents, I have a fun segment that we're going to finish this show off with. Okay, obviously there were some more games that happened last night. I don't know how much I can truly talk about the games from last night. I'll just break them down real quick. Clippers move on to win 11 out of their last 13 games. 11 out of the last 13 games. The Clippers defeated the Wizards. The Cleveland Cavaliers decimated the 76ers. They know how to play basketball sometimes. The Raptors defeated the Pacers. The Bulls beat the Jazz. That was a good game. Vucci, baby, with a game winner. Trey Jones with an unbelievable pass to hit Vucci, and they win the game. Pelicans held off against the Brooklyn Nets. Shout out Liam our special guest from yesterday. If you guys want to learn anything about the New Orleans Pelicans, be sure to tune into yesterday's episode, because we had our professional God's strongest Pelicans fan, Liam, guest star on yesterday's episode, and they defeated the Nets. The Denver Nuggets, honestly, what more? We'll be talking about them later. That's why I don't want to talk about them now. Obviously, we know the Kings beat the Knicks. So those are all the games that happened last night. Now, we have a very fun segment coming up. A very fun segment, okay? We've never done this before, but I'm sure you guys have heard this segment before on TikTok and whatever other podcasts you guys listen to, okay? TikTok, I would like to say, if you guys are enjoying the stream, now is the perfect time. The perfect time. Liam, let's see, Liam, Jose, GV, Blatt, Brian, all of you guys, Chris, be sure to swing on in to the Twitch stream. If you guys want to talk to me, if you guys want to talk to the rest of my community, my Twitch community knows everything about basketball. It's not toxic like TikTok or Twitter. If you guys want to truly enjoy this stream, make sure you guys swing on in into the Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. Nobody listen to Robert. His profile picture is him taking a picture in a mirror in his bathroom. So if you guys want to truly enjoy a basketball knowing community and talk with me and the rest of my community, be sure to swing right in to the Twitch stream right now. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. Just click the profile picture, click the link in my bio, and come through to the Twitch. If you guys watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a sub out of my own pocket. I actually owe 2 viewers at the end of this episode their personal subs, so they no longer get ads here. All right, let's continue with our next topic of discussion, y'all. I'm sure you guys have heard of this segment. It's called Contenders or Pretenders. Okay, I'm sure you guys have heard this. We are officially halfway into this NBA season. We're officially halfway. So, well, halfway into the regular season. So, I think it's time we play a little game of Pretenders or Contenders now that we're halfway into this season. Okay? Let's get started. TikTok, be sure to swing on into the Twitch. You're running out of time. JZ Uncut on Twitch, link in my bio. Here we go. My first team we have up. Pretender or Contender, y'all. Help me out. The Oklahoma City Thunder. We're starting easy. We're starting light. Ladies and gentlemen, do you guys believe that the Oklahoma City Thunder are pretenders or contenders? What do you guys think? I don't know. I don't know. They don't have an MVP caliber player. They don't have that good of defense. I just don't know. I think they might be a pretender, y'all. They might be a pretender. I'm kidding. Obviously, the Thunder are a contender. Obviously, they're contenders. I'd like to give a special shout outs real quick to Triple H and Queen Val for leaving the TikTok stream and coming through to the Twitch stream. We are so happy to have y'all here. Welcome on in. Queen and Triple, thank you guys so much for the follows on Twitch. Be sure to join the Discord as well, guys. Join the community. Join up. Let us know what fan of a team you are. We'd love to keep y'all around in the Twitch stream. Remember, if you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription. Okay? So this goes without saying, y'all. The Oklahoma City Thunder are contenders. I think they are everybody's number 1 contenders. Something I love looking at is on StatMuse. There's so much green. There's so much green. Just look at all the green, y'all. There's so much green. Now, in case you guys don't know what this means, this is their team rank in all of these stats around the NBA, right? They're second in points, they're third in steals, they're fifth in blocks, they're first in field goals made, third in field goal percentage, and 10th in free throws made. Okay? And then this is their opponent's rank. Okay? So this is like where they rank in the NBA at allowing, like what they give up. Okay? So they are second in containing the other team's steals, meaning they don't turn the ball over. Okay? They are fourth in limiting assists, which means they play the passing lanes. They are second in allowing field goals made, meaning they allow the second least field goals made against them. Okay? So this team right now, they're also allowing the lowest field goal percentage in the NBA. It's sort of obvious that this team is a contender, right? So I feel like we don't need to talk about it, but I just want to remind everybody how good this team really is. How good they are. When you see green all there, that's sort of incredible. But one thing they do lack this year is they are allowing the third most three-pointers made against them. That's the one thing they're not doing well this year. That's the main reason why they're playing a lot of close games. They're giving up that three. But the Thunder want you to shoot those threes. So whether or not you can hit them, they're willing to bet on that. Let's move on to our first team in the Eastern Conference, who we just talked about earlier. Remember, this is all today. As of today, you're not projecting. You can project a little bit, but base it off of today. Let's move on to the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks. Are they a pretender or are they a contender? Holler at me. Of course, as you guys know, I'm only reading the Twitch stream. So be sure, TikTok, YouTube, if you guys are talking over there, to be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream so that I can read your comments. I'm seeing pretender, contenders, baby. That's a Knicks fan. Pretender, contender, pretender, pretender, big pretender, pretenders as fuck, pretender. Wow. Big pretender. Wow. Okay. Well, contender because they're in the East. Thank you, Hate. Thank you. They are contenders. They are contenders. I'm not going to call the New York Knicks a pretender. I can't do that. They're in the East, ladies and gents. I think that's something that you all forgot. Being a contender is making it to the conference finals, just so we're all clear. Being a contender is making the conference finals. If you make the conference finals, that means you were in contention to make the finals, okay? I'm pretty confident this team is making the conference finals, right? Triple H came into the Twitch stream and said second round exits. I don't know who they would verse in the second round, but as of today, they would verse Cavs, and then the next round, they'd probably play the Magic or the 76ers. I'm sorry, but the Magic or 76ers are not beating the New York Knicks in a 7-game series. So, I think they're contenders, but I do want to talk about their stats because it's not as bad as you would think, okay? It's not as bad as you would think. So they're 6th in points. We all know how good their offense is. They're 5th in rebounds. They're 25th in blocks, 17 in steals, 11th in assists, but they're 10th in field goals made, 8th in field goals attempted because Mitchell Robinson gets all those offensive rebounds, 10th in field goal percentage, 3rd in three-pointers made, but one of the best three-point shooting teams in the NBA, right? I know, Queen Val, believe me. 8th in three-pointers attempted, 3rd in three-point percentage. Now, here's where they struggle. So they are allowing the second most three-pointers made in the entire NBA. The second most three-pointers made in the NBA. They're also allowing the 5th most three-pointers attempted against them. And they're also allowing the 5th best three-point percentage in the entire NBA. Teams are shooting 38% against them from deep. 38%? That is disgusting. That is disgusting. If you're giving up 38% to a basketball team, to a professional basketball team, that is not going to win you a championship, especially when you're up against teams that are mainly jacking up threes. I'd like to give a special shout out to Gex. Shout out to Gex, Triple H, and Queen for leaving the TikTok stream and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you guys very much for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch. I appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, remember, if you do watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription. That would mean no more ads for you. Make sure you guys join the Discord as well, where my community talks live throughout all of the games. Okay, so now me as a Pistons fan, I'm not going to lie to y'all and tell you that the Knicks are not, like, the Knicks are contenders. Contenders in my mind are conference finals, and I think that should be, right? My only issue right now about the New York Knicks is, we've talked about the Knicks a lot this year, is their effort. Their effort, or should I say lack thereof. This team lacks so much effort. So much effort. They don't have an identity. Now, when you look at the teams all around them, the rest of the teams have an identity. Right above them, the Pistons, they have an identity. Defense, we're going to beat you to death. The Celtics, we're going to jack up 100 threes, and we still don't have Tatum yet. The Raptors, defense. Defense, defense, defense. The 76ers, if we're healthy, we can beat anybody. That's their belief. They have that identity. They're going to run you out of the gym. Mind you, the teams that are leading the NBA in the fast break buckets right now are the Raptors, the Hawks, the Pistons, and the 76ers. Do you guys know what the New York Knicks' biggest weakness is? It's the same weakness of the Lakers. It's the same weakness of the Warriors. It's the same weakness of the Clippers. Do you guys know what that is? It's athletic teams. If you are athletic, if you are fast, if you are mobile, you are the Knicks' weakness. You know what the issue in the East is right now? Is yes, the East is weak, right? It's weak. But the thing that the East is prolific at is being athletic. The Pistons will run you out the gym. The Celtics will run and shoot you out the gym. The Raptors will sprint you out the gym. The 76ers will sprint you out of the gym. The Magic will beat you to death, just like the Pistons. The Cavs, they're not. The Heat, and that's about it. That's about it. The weakness to the Knicks is very obvious, ladies and gentlemen. If you're athletic, if you're fast, if you like running down the court, you are the Knicks' weakness. And it sucks that the East has all of those teams, but that's what makes the East so much fun, y'all. That's what makes it so much fun. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Lakers versus Warriors, the only thing that sounds entertaining about that is Luka, LeBron, and Curry. That's the only thing that sounds entertaining about that. I like literally most of the Western Conference like matchups are going to be pretty boring because the East is going to be a dogfight. I don't think you guys understand how excited I am for the playoffs to start because those series look fun, man. Like if you were to look at the conference right now and you're looking at the matchups, right? Pistons versus Heat. I don't know about you guys. That sounds fun as fuck. Because the Pistons and Heat always play close games. The Knicks versus the Cavs. Okay, well. Jacob and Gex, thank you guys so much for leaving the TikTok stream and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to all the legends that are leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you guys very much. If you guys want your messages read, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. Join a community filled with a bunch of basketball knowers, not a bunch of pretenders like the TikTok. And then you have the Celtics versus Magic. Last year was fun. This year's going to be fun. The Raptors versus 76ers. That's going to be a 7-game series. Ladies and gents, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. So, in my opinion, the Knicks are contenders. They got to make the conference finals. They have to. There's just no... Listen, y'all, we talked about this yesterday, right? We talked about this yesterday. Do you guys remember the conversation that we had? NBA salaries. We talked about this yesterday. If you guys remember, we looked at the highest salaries in the NBA. And if you are on this list, I apologize. You can cry. The Cavaliers have to win this year. They have to win this year. And guess what the Cavaliers aren't going to do? They're not going to win this year. The New York Knicks have to win this year. The Warriors have to win this year. The Mavericks have to win this year. Timberwolves are fine. Their books are cheaper next year. The Celtics, man, they are nearing that second apron, even with unloading their entire team. The Magic, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, I talked about this yesterday. Sorry to my Magic fans. The Orlando Magic have the most expensive roster next year, other than the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Orlando Magic, trading for Desmond Bane, rushed their process by 4 years. They have the most expensive roster next year, other than the Cleveland Cavaliers, in the entire NBA. Now that's insane. That's insane. And then you see the other teams, Pistons, being the bottom 4 in salary. Like, it's just truly, it's a marvel. So let's move on to our next contender or pretender, y'all. Let me know your opinion. If you guys are in the TikTok still, now is your time to come to the Twitch. Let me know if this team is a pretender or contender. Ladies and gentlemen, the Denver Nuggets, are they a pretender or a contender? This is my team that I picked at the beginning of the year coming out of the West. And guess what? The reason I didn't talk about them earlier is because I wanted to just regurgitate this even more. Holy moly. Holy moly, ladies and gentlemen. Holy freaking moly. This team right now, balling out of their minds without Jokic. Ladies and gents, last night against the Dallas Mavericks, 18 points from Peyton Watson. Spencer Jones, 10 points. Aaron Gordon, 22. Jamal Murray, 33. Jalen Pickett, 9. Day'Ron Holmes, 3. Tim Hardaway Jr., 12. Bruce Brown, 7. Zeke Naji, 4. This team, no matter the injuries, they are on another level. Ladies and gentlemen, they are contenders. I've never seen a bigger contender now. Peyton Watson right now, while Jokic is out, is averaging 23 points per game. That is not a joke. I'm telling y'all, the Denver Nuggets are for serious. It doesn't matter that Dallas is injured. We don't care. They've been injured all year. The Dallas Mavericks, every team has been injured. This game wasn't even that close. They were beating this team by 30 all the way through. We're not reading any TikTok messages. If you guys want to talk with me and the rest of my community, make sure you guys come through to the Twitch stream. Link in my bio, Jay-Z Uncut. Join it before it's too late. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we all agree they're a contender. Let's move on to a next team. A next team that I think is going to be quite polarizing. Now, guys, remember, I said if you make it to the conference finals, you are a contender. And remember this today. Don't think into the future. Today, the next team, contender or pretender. My Detroit Pistons, are they a contender or a pretender? What do we think? What do we think about the Detroit Pistons? Are they a pretender or contender? What do we think? Contender, pretender because Jay-Z's a fan. Holy pretenders. Pretender, 50-50. That's not how it works. Pretender. Contenders based on your definition. Thank you, Gex. Pretender, not hate though, second round exit. Which means we're losing to the Magic in the second round. That's what that means. Or no, right? That's what that would, I think that's what that would mean. Pretender. They need to show me something in the first round. Obviously contenders. Contenders as long as they get healthy. Contenders. Now, obviously I haven't said anything. I wanted to see what the general consensus was, and that doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me. As of today, right? As of the last 3 months since the NBA started, the Pistons are contenders. They are contenders. And for the people who are telling me they're not, I'm not upset with you for thinking that. There's a couple statistics that you guys have been forgetting all year round. The Pistons right now in the NBA lead the league in most wins against above 500 teams. They also have the best win percentage against teams above 500. They have a 75% win rate against teams that are above 500. That is the highest in the NBA. So another biggest issue that people were talking about the Detroit Pistons last year is that we don't have a superstar. Cade was like a rising star, but he wasn't a superstar. I think we can all agree that Cade Cunningham is indeed a superstar right now. In fact, I would go as far as to say he this year should be a top 3 in MVP voting. He should. Just chilling. Thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it very, very much. Shout out to all my goats that are leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, man. You're going to enjoy your time here a lot. If you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription so you no longer get ads. Now, I want to show you guys something, okay? Remember how I was showing you all the green for the Oklahoma City Thunder? Do you guys remember this? How I was showing you all the green. There's only one other team that has the same amount of green as the Oklahoma City Thunder, okay? Do you know who that other team is? Genuinely. This is going to surprise a lot of you. The Thunder are first in opponent field goal percentage, meaning they give the lowest field goal percentage in the entire NBA. You know who's number 2? The Detroit Pistons. And it's very close by 1 point. Let's look at the Pistons, rest of them. So they're 10th in points. So they're top 10 By the way, they're top 7 in offense, but top 10 in like points averaging. 4th in rebounding. 12th in assists. 2nd in steals. You know who they're second to? I actually have no idea who's 1st in steals. 1st in blocks. 1st in blocks. We don't have Wemby. 8th in field goals made. 7th in field goal percentage. 26th in three-pointers made. 27th in three-pointers attempted. So what you're seeing right now is that this team only has one weakness. They have one weakness, and it's shooting. Isn't that somewhat similar to what the Oklahoma City Thunder are going through right now? They're the bottom half of the NBA at three-point shooting. The Oklahoma City Thunder. They're bottom half. The Pistons are bottom 3. Well, bottom 4. Now, I want to talk about their defense, okay? They're allowing the 4th least points scored. They're allowing the 4th least amount of rebounds. They're allowing the lowest assist total in the NBA right now, meaning they are forcing everybody into ISO situations. They turn the ball over. They're allowing the 2nd most steals in the NBA. They are 1st in allowing the least amount of field goals made against them. Again, they are allowing the least amount of field goals made against them. They are allowing the lowest amount of shots taken against them. You know why? Because they don't allow offensive rebounds, which is something that the 2nd seed in the East is prolific at. They don't allow offensive rebounds. They are 2nd, right behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, in lowest field goal percentage for the opponent. They are also 10th in allowing the 10th worst three-point percentage against them. And you can look at all the net ratings if you want, if in your own time. The Detroit Pistons right now have one weakness, and it's shooting. Because here's the thing. In the playoffs, do you guys know what buckets are the most important ones? Guys, and do we have any real ball knowers? What points are the most important ones in the playoffs? What sort of baskets are the most important in the playoffs? 3-point shooting, mid-ranges, paint, fast break. What are the most important kind of shots? Close, guys, close. Close. It's in the paint. Thank you, Kai. It's in the paint. Paint touches and paint points are the most important points scored in the playoffs. Not three-pointers, not second chance points. Paint scoring is the most important bucket scored in the playoffs. Do you guys know who leads the NBA by 10 points in points scored in the paint? The Detroit Pistons. Part of the reason is because they can't shoot. Do you know what the 2nd most important shot in the NBA is right now in the playoffs? The 2nd most important, the shot that gets called a bad shot in the regular season. It's the most common misconstrued shot in the regular season in NBA history. It's the midi. It's the mid-range. It is the mid-range. Do you know what team is 2nd in most mid-range shots made? The Detroit Pistons. They're only behind one team. That team had the MVP of the league last year. Finals MVP, league MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I can break it down why paint buckets are the most important for the playoffs. Yes, I absolutely can. So in the playoffs, there's 2 buckets that go in significantly less in the playoffs. And those are 3-pointers, and those are fast break buckets. So fast breaks really slow down. So if you have a team that relies on the fast break, not excels in the fast break like the Pistons, but teams like the Atlanta Hawks who rely on the fast break points. That's why the Hawks right now are in the play-in, because they rely on fast break points. In the playoffs, players get back on defense. In the playoffs, people don't fight for the offensive rebounds as hard because they know they need to get back on defense. In the playoffs, they limit fast break points because they know those are the easiest buckets to get. So When three-point percentage goes down because tired legs, when you study your matchups, the most available shot on the NBA court throughout all the playoffs is the mid-range shot. And the player with the best mid-range shot in the NBA is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But right there at number 2 is Cade Parker-Cunningham. And here's the thing that the Pistons also have: the best perimeter defender in the NBA. That's not cap. That's not exaggeration. Asar Thompson is number 1 in every point of attack on defense. He has actually improved from 12th last year to the number 1 point of attack in the NBA for defense. Yeah, Kawhi's number 3, funny enough. So you're telling me, a lot of people told me that the Pistons are pretenders. I'm a Pistons fan. I point out every flaw about this team. If anybody's going to tell you whether they are a pretender or a contender, believe the guy who's putting all of his biases to the side. I said a contender is making the conference finals. I don't see why this team can't make the conference finals. But here's the thing from a Pistons fan. All I want is to witness a win in the playoffs in person. All I want is to win one playoff series. Now, if the Pistons win one playoff series, in a lot of people's eyes, that's a failed season. All this is right now is getting experience. If you can win 1, but 2 playoff series, you are so far ahead of schedule. I got to be honest, y'all. I just want to see 1 playoff series won. So I'm going to go ahead and call the Pistons a contender. I genuinely believe they are. I would be honest if I said they weren't. It all depends what they do at the trade deadline. The Pistons are 11-0 without Tobias Harris. I guess 11-1 technically, but that's because we were missing 4 other starters. So I would like to see a trade. They need more shooting. It's obvious they need more shooting. They're the 3rd worst three-point shooting team in the NBA. Let's move on. Pretender or contender, the San Antonio Spurs, y'all. The San Antonio Spurs. They are currently sitting at the number 3 seed. But believe it or not, the San Antonio Spurs are a game and a half. No, sorry. 2.5 games from falling out of the playoffs. No, 3 games. Sorry. They are 3 games from falling out of the playoffs. I see contenders. I see pretenders. No, Gex, because there's big differences between those teams and these teams now. What I just showed you, the Hawks sort of like got lucky into those stats. The Pistons are proving themselves that they are the number 2 team in the league. Okay. I see a lot of pretenders. I see a lot of contenders. I'm going to go ahead and say pretenders. They are major pretenders in the West, and that's my apologies. I don't mean to disrespect any of my Spurs fans, but they are major pretenders. In the West, never being in the playoffs. The only experience you have on this team is Luke Cornett. Harrison Barnes from 10 years ago doesn't count. They don't have any vets who've been in the mix in the playoffs in recent years other than Luke Cornett. I think out of anybody on this list, they're the most obvious pretender that we have said so far. Calling them a contender is very, very unfair to them as a team. They're not ready. They haven't been to the playoffs. Now, people are telling me the Pistons need experience. They got their experience last year against the New York Knicks and were one shot away from moving on into the second round. I don't think you can count the San Antonio Spurs as a contender. I don't. Somebody said, who did OKC have last year? That was a vet. Here's the thing about OKC. You're comparing the greatest PER in any NBA team ever against a Spurs team that has somewhat walked into a 27-13 record. Remember, guys, their strength in schedule is very lackluster. Their strength in schedule is bottom 10 in the NBA. So the strength in their opponents is bottom 10 in the NBA. I don't know how long that this record is going to last, especially being at the three seed in the East. They're only 3 games from falling out into the play-in. Quick Scoping said, you said if conference final was a contender, that's our ceiling. So I think they're a contender. I don't think they're making the conference finals. But this is my opinion. This is all about what podcasts are about and streaming is about. They would verse, who would they verse? They would verse the Rockets. I have the Rockets beating them. I have the Rockets beating them. They don't have what it takes physically, mentally to beat a team like that. I understand that, Quick. But the playoffs are very different. Just to remind everybody, we beat the Knicks in the season series last year in the regular season. We ended up losing in 6 games. The San Antonio Spurs, in my opinion, are pretenders. I don't have them in the realm of Thunder, of Nuggets. Hell, I don't have them in the Timberwolves. I don't have them in the Rockets. The only teams I see the Spurs beating, and it could break, the bracket could break and somehow get lucky and verse the Warriors, Suns, or Lakers. You know what I mean? I genuinely don't see them beating any other team. In fact, I could take the Lakers over the Spurs. And I hate the Lakers. I hate what they're doing. They are not a good team. But I could see veteran leadership beating them. Just look at last year. Can you guys please look at last year? Look at last year. For anybody that's gassing up the Spurs, remember what the Rockets did last year. Remember. The Rockets got beat by a horrible Golden State Warriors team. If they had Van Vliet, if the Rockets had Van Vliet, then believe me, my next opinion would be different. I'm not mad at you guys if you have the Spurs as pretenders. Contenders. I just don't like seeing you guys hype up such a young team so early. Believe it or not, the Pistons are younger than the Spurs. Believe it or not. Let's move on. I'm not mad if you guys say that they're contenders. I just feel for them because you are putting them in such a upper echelon already. You know what I mean? We got to finish up this fucking podcast, man. It's going to be going on for far too long. Pretender or contender, the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, are they pretenders or contenders? This is my cutoff. This has been my cutoff. The Rockets don't have Van Vliet. The Rockets aren't going to get you a good point guard. They're not going to get you a facilitator. The Rockets are not contenders. Here's the thing. I very well could see this team scrape their way into the second round, but conference finals are a whole different story. Without a point guard, without a facilitator, the playoffs is scary, man. I haven't seen a single person say contender about this team other than Beeve. He said contender with health. I don't see them being a contender. I don't. Especially not right now. Especially not right now. They need a facilitator. They need a point guard. Unfortunately, we're not going down to the Phoenix Suns, but the Phoenix Suns are absolutely not contenders. I think we can all agree upon that. Especially with their fourth quarter offense, lack thereof of a fourth quarter offense. They are miserable in the fourth quarter as far as offense goes. My God, they are horrible. All they do is just hunt threes on the perimeter for the last 6 minutes of the game. That's what they've done in the last 5 clutch games. Oh, we're playing the Suns tonight. Is Booker playing? Because the Pistons are finally healthy. They've been out for 5 days, and they're playing the Suns tonight. Consensus on the Clippers? I think they're going to make a run into the play-in. They're only half a game out. They're 11-13. They've won 11 games out of the last 13 games. Book is questionable. He's going to play. He's from Michigan. He's going to play. Let me move on to my final one, ladies and gents. Final one. Pretender or contender? The Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm just going to say it immediately. They're a contender. They're a contender. Mike, shout out Mike. They're a contender, man. I'm sick of people discrediting this team. I'm sick of people not talking about this team as if they haven't made it to 2 conference finals in a row. They're a contender. In fact, I would go as far as to say is they arguably have the best odds in the West. Arguably. You can convince me that they're better than the Nuggets. They were better than them last year. No, you got to come through to the Twitch stream. They beat them. You know what I'm saying? Julius Randle's having a career year. Julius Randle has been incredible. Julius Randle has been so good. Anthony Edwards has been good. 29 points, 41% from 3, 50%. Are you kidding me? MVP numbers. MVP numbers. Naz Reid, though, this guy's got to be the guy. This guy has got to be the guy to wake up. Because if Naz Reid is going to play like this into the playoffs, forget about it. Forget about it. Absolutely forget about it. Naz Reid has been not Naz Reid this year. But you know who's been the key component to this team? Do you know who's not getting the credit that he deserves? This white boy right here, man. I know Knicks fans right now are rolling in their bed. I know they're rolling. This guy, Dante DiVincenzo, has been... I love this guy. I love this guy. Dante freaking DiVincenzo, 38% from three. He remembered how to shoot again. 42% from field goal range. He takes some highly contested twos. This guy's a dog. He's a dog. And then another person who is obviously the key to their success, who doesn't get any credit whatsoever. He's having a career year right now. He's having a career year right now. Career year. 11 points, 11 and a half rebounds, 2 assists, almost 2 blocks, 71% from the field. He is playing so damn well, man. He is playing so damn well. I'm sick of the Rudy Gobert disrespect. You take Rudy Gobert off this team, they're barely a play-in team. You take Rudy Gobert off this team, they have the worst defense in the NBA. The worst defense in the NBA. Yeah, Jaden McDaniels has been flat out beautiful all year as well. Shout out Jaden McDaniels. He's been incredible. Stats all up across the board. Do you guys remember when I said there's only 3 teams that have greens everywhere? The Oklahoma City Thunder, the Detroit Pistons, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's it. Look at all this green, baby. Look at all this green. Look at all this green. Defense, offense, net rating. This team is a serious contender. This team is a serious, and I mean serious contender. Serious. Shout out my Minnesota Timberwolves. Shout out my Minnesota Timberwolves. Do I have another team? I don't think I made another team. Did I? Yeah, no, I didn't. Okay, ladies and gents, that is going to do her. That is going to do her. TikTok, YouTube. If you guys enjoyed the stream, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. We are still live over here. Twitch. Don't you go anywhere. I got some subs I got to gift around to people who've been here for 3 days in a row. Okay. TikTok, YouTube, we are still live on Twitch. So make sure you guys swing on in over to the Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. It helps more than you guys can possibly ever understand. Yeah, guys, that's going to be today's pod. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Twitch chat, be sure to stick around. And TikTok, come through to the Twitch if you're not a bitch. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I got nothing left to say except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching/listening. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Go Pistons.